Alright, not gonna lie, it is currently 12:36 a.m. in the morning. My dad just fell asleep on the couch. I asked if he would let me record one more video tonight, so technically everyone is asleep right now. Yet why the hell am I up right now? I could say I'm staying up so I could check out the Superman trailer when that's gonna be up at like 8 a.m. in the morning. It would be out at 6 if I were back home, but right now I'm in Florida, so it's going to be out at 8 instead, but still, the point is, so yeah, basically in a couple of hours from now, I'm going to be watching Sonic 3, and I wanted to re-review the first two movies in preparation, and I really wish I had time to do my Knuckles review, but unfortunately I may not have enough time. I could try to do it before we see Sonic 3, but then I might not have enough storage to record for the movie vlog, so I don't know, we shall see. I wanted to talk about Knuckles in preparation for Sonic 3. But yeah, I managed to get most of videos out this week. My moving into a new house vlog, Kraven the Hunter movie vlog, hype trailer for Sonic 3. Now I just need to do this before, I see Sonic movie 3 tomorrow. And hopefully I can make this quick and short because I am definitely gonna head straight to bed after I edit this video and post it. But anyways, with that being said, hello everyone, welcome back to another double movie review. As a review, because the last time I reviewed two movies was Venom 1 and Venom 2 in preparation for Venom 3, which was about 2 months ago. And hopefully you're able to hear me alright. I am trying my best to not talk too loud, as again, it's like 12 a.m. in the morning and I don't want to wake anybody up. But yeah, if you've been following me since 2020, you should know that one of the first reviews I've done on the channel was Sonic the Hedgehog. That was literally the first movie review I've covered on the channel. It was originally supposed to be Bad Boys for Life, but I picked Sonic the Hedgehog. And not gonna lie, that video was, oh my goodness gracious, I made such cringy videos 4 years ago. I have improved a few years later, but some of my improved videos are still slightly cringe. But overall, I've improved since 2020. But yeah, I made a review talking about Sonic the Hedgehog as I got to see that on Valentine's Day. So, not only will I talk about my quick thoughts on Sonic 1 and 2, as I have reviewed Sonic Movie 2 when I went to go see that, as I've, of course, did a movie vlog for that one. I'll also talk about my experience, mainly with the first movie, because with the second movie, I could talk my experience with Sonic Movie 2, but technically I've made videos of, capturing my experience on me getting hyped up for Sonic Movie 2. But anyways, I've taken notes, so let's get on with today's video, shall we? Also, the next one after this will definitely be my Superman trailer reaction, which is why I probably won't have time to do a Knuckles review. So yeah, my experience with Sonic the Hedgehog, I remember my brother went to go see this movie early on a Thursday night, I believe. 4 years ago with Gabe, I think. No, yeah, it was probably with Gabe. And I was honestly jealous he got to see the movie early while I got to see it a day later on Valentine's Day. And I had fun watching it at the theater, just wish I hadn't gotten spoiled for Tails in the post-credit scene, because sadly I have been spoiled for both Sonic movies, and so far I have done my best to avoid spoilers for Sonic 3. I actually almost got spoiled earlier today on TikTok, but so far I think I'm good, because ain't no freaking way I'm getting spoiled for the third damn Sonic movie. Not again, not 3 times in a row. But yeah, I remember hearing updates about this movie, like, I guess around 2018, 2019. I remember when the first trailer came out, and I was aware not many people were loving the design. And I hate to admit this, but I'm ashamed that I was okay with the original movie design. Now, not to say I liked it. It wasn't great, but I didn't hate it like how everyone else were hating the design. But I was, like, okay with it. Like, okay, it's not great, but alright, I'll have to stick with this design. Because the movie was supposed to come out around like November 8th of 2019, but then got delayed all the way to Valentine's Day of 2020. But anyway, so whenever I would watch Sonic the Hedgehog, I sometimes wonder to myself, or like just picture in my mind, what would it have looked like if they had went with the original movie design? And whenever I have it pictured in my mind, I don't get pleasing results. But yeah, once they showed us the redesign, everyone then loved it, like, oh yes, thank you, you fixed Sonic's design. He went from ugly to now looking more accurate to what he's supposed to look like in the games. And honestly, bravo to the studio, and along with Jeff Fowler, who is the director for most of the Sonic movies, along with the Knuckles show, as they've done something that I don't think most studios do. I don't know, that might be a hot take, but they actually listened to the fans. They heard them complaining,
And Jeff Fowler was like, okay, yeah, let's delay the movie. We need to completely change this design. We need to have it look as accurate to what Sonic's supposed to look like in the games. Yes, this is perfection. All right, we'll go with this design. That is so much better than the ugly design. I don't know why we were thinking this would work out, which, yeah, what were the studio thinking? Having Sonic look more human-like is just... Wow, I cannot believe I was okay with the ugly design like 5 years ago. But man, it's a crazy journey, and honestly, this would make it a legendary story to tell to kids. Have you ever heard the story about Ugly Sonic? But yeah, if it weren't for that redesign, we wouldn't have never gotten Sonic Movie 2 and 3, along with a Knuckles spin-off show. And it's kind of crazy how everyone went from hating the Sonic movie, mainly due to its original design, to then loving the movies, as the Sonic movies are basically the best video game adaptations we've gotten, because there's a thing called a video game curse, but the Sonic movies have broken that curse. And Sonic's redesign kind of saved the franchise. So yeah, glad I was around for this crazy roller coaster, but my thoughts overall on Sonic the Hedgehog, as it's now been 4 years since I've seen the movie. Well, not that I'm saying that, oh, I've only seen it twice. No, I've seen it a couple of times. It's just saying that it's now been 4 years since the movie was released and everything, but still, my thoughts overall on the movie. Technically, it's still a 10 out of 10, but my rating for it has changed. But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog is one of, if not my most favorite movie to come out of 2020, which was kind of a rough year for movies. Actually, if you've seen my top 10 favorite movies of 2020, it's at my number 1 spot. And I was having trouble with what to put at number 1, whether that be Bad Boys 3, Onward, or Sonic the Hedgehog. I went for Sonic the Hedgehog. But yeah, 2020 was a pretty rough year for movies due to the pandemic. But yeah, my rating for Sonic the Hedgehog is an 8.5 out of 10, and I have 2 reasons for why I'm giving that rating. 1, I'm saving the 10 out of 10 for Sonic 3, and 2, while they did change Sonic's design thanks to listening to the fans, the rest of the movie is basically the same as it was before with the original design, as this movie follows a basic trope you've seen in other movies, where you take a famous character and have them interact with the real world, basically like a fish out of water type situation, if that's the correct term I'm using. I don't know which word I'm looking for. I'm assuming fish out of water is the correct term for this, but you should know what I'm talking about thanks to the movie's trope that you've seen countless times with other movies that have been adaptations of famous IPs. Where, oh, this famous character from an IP is now interacting with the human world. Government wants to hunt them down, experiment them, but they then eventually escape or never get caught or something. I'm glad that Sonic wasn't captured by, like, the government in this movie. And by government, I'm talking about Dr. Robotnik. Well, I mean, technically the government sent Robotnik to capture this creature because Sonic kind of caused a major blackout throughout the entire planet. But yeah, the trope this movie has, it worked for me, and I'm glad that Sonic wasn't like captured to where the human characters would have to break in and break him out, because I've seen that like so many times in other movies, so I guess that's why it's kind of worked for me with this one. But yeah, the movie has its basic trope, and the human characters, they're likable enough. But yeah, the movie is rather more focused on the human characters than Sonic. I mean, Sonic is technically still the main character, but like I said, since it's following that basic trope of fish out of water, if that is the correct term. Hopefully I'm using the correct term of that. It's just more focused on the human characters, like how Tom is wanting to become a street cop in San Francisco, and now he has to help Sonic get his rings back. He had lost on top of the San Francisco tower, thanks to Tom shooting him with a dart. But yeah, even though this movie has that basic trope you've seen in other movies, it still is fun and entertaining to watch. But of course, the later sequels we get in the series do become much more better than the first movie. But I am happy that these movies do have Easter eggs to the video games, as the director knows his stuff when it comes to the Sonic lore. And like I also mentioned, these Sonic movies have break the video game curse, as they're pretty much the best video game adaptations we have gotten, other than the other video game adaptations we've gotten that are considered to be the best, which would be TV shows like Arcane, for example. But that honestly should be the case with most movies, as I'm aware that there are bad video game movies like Uncharted or Borderlands, but that's what should be the case with most adaptations for movies, books, TV shows, video games. Get somebody that knows their stuff when it comes to the IP, and boom, you have a faithful adaptation. And like I mentioned, the human characters are likable enough in this movie, but they do kind of get better in the next sequels. and they're rather more side characters, but again, you'll like them and care for them in like the later sequels. As for Jim Carrey's Robotnik, I don't know when was the last time I saw Jim Carrey in a movie, but man was I happy to see him again, as he's one of my favorite actors. He also loves playing the character of Eggman, and I'm glad he's finally getting a full accurate look at Eggman in the third Sonic movie. But yeah, who wouldn't love Jim Carrey? He's great as Dr. Robotnik, and he does kind of carry the Sonic movies. But I'm glad he came out of retirement for Sonic 3. Well, technically he wasn't retired, but taking a pause with acting. But now he's down to do sequels, because apparently he doesn't do sequels, as that's like a rare thing from what I last heard a few years back. But now he's down and open to do movie sequels to his other movies he's done, like The Grinch or The Mask. I mean, he came back to play 2 different Robotniks in Sonic Movie 3. But overall, I still enjoy Sonic Movie 1, but Sonic Movie 2 is a much bigger improvement compared to the first movie, as that was following a basic trope. But for the sequel, it's being a lot more faithful to the game and lore of Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I know I gave this movie a 10 out of 10 rating 2 years ago, but it's gone down to a 9 out of 10, and 2 reasons. One, same reason as the other reason I gave Sonic 1 8.5 out of 10 instead of a 10 out of 10. I'm saving the 10 out of 10 for Sonic 3 because I know for a fact that is going to be the best movie in the trilogy. And reason number 2, I do have some minor nitpicks with the movie. And what will be my nitpicks? There could be moments at times where there's some scenes that are like too cartoony or too childish for me, to the point where I'm like, okay, let's try to bring it down a notch, shall we? Like how we had that bar scene where Sonic and Tails have a dance-off with, I guess, Russian people in order to get their map back, but I'll let that slide because they played Uptown Funk. And I know not many people were probably a fan of that wedding scene, but that gets a pass for me. I didn't mind that. But again, those aren't negatives, it's just minor nitpicks I have with Sonic 2. The movie is still peak. I still have fun with it. I still love it. There's just going to be times where as I'm watching Sonic 2, there'll be like certain moments in the movie where I'll be like, alright, let's try to bring it down a notch. But the best part about Sonic Movie 2 was the introduction of both Tails and Knuckles. I know we had fan casts about The Rock or Jason Momoa voicing Knuckles, but Idris Elba was an interesting choice I didn't expect. But having to see him voice Knuckles, yeah, the dude is perfect for him. Idris Elba kills it as he voices Knuckles, and Tails is fun to watch on screen. I know that 3C Films mentioned something about how they kind of did Tails dirty because they made him a bit of a stalker, because he knows a lot about Sonic the Hedgehog, as he's been spying on him since, ever since that whole blackout in the first Sonic movie at the baseball field. I might agree with him, but again, Tails is a fun character. But another great thing about this movie is that since the first movie was mainly focused on like some of the human characters, in this one, the human characters are rather the side characters. The main characters are just the CGI characters, which would be Tails, Sonic, and Knuckles. We rarely ever see that for certain movies, because in other movies we would have the human characters be the main character instead of like the CGI characters. In this one, we have Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles as the main characters. And that's something I'm happy with and much would prefer, since most folks would not want to have human characters like, for example, the MonsterVerse movies. They don't want to see human characters that they really have no interest in. They just want to see monsters fight. It's kind of a similar situation with the Sonic movies, but of course there's a few differences here and there. But again, it's great that they have the Sonic team as the main characters instead of the human characters as they're just the side characters. Also, the final battle for Sonic 2 was awesome to watch. Compared to the final battle from the first movie, that was like low scale. For Sonic Movie 2 and 3, no, they got like big final battles. And one of the producers or directors, I don't know, someone said something about the Sonic movies where they're trying to have each Sonic movie feel like an Avengers level movie. Basically have like a big event, like what went down in Sonic Movie 2 and what is going to go down for Sonic Movie 3. And if that's going to be the case, oh, let's freaking go! But the downside of watching the Sonic movies is spoilers, because for the first movie, I got spoiled about Tails being in the post-credit scene. Second movie, not only did I got spoiled about Super Sonic happening, or Sonic going Super Saiyan, if that's the correct word, but also the damn post-credit scene, and then Robotnik's death too. I mean, I saw a thumbnail of Robotnik looking like he was about to die, and I made a joke about it to Rylan. He was pissed that I told him that, oh, Robotnik's gonna die, but I told him that it was a prank. Once we saw the movie, I was like, oh, well, crap. But yeah, I got so upset that I was spoiled about Shadow being teased in this movie, but we had a feeling that they would tease Tails for the second movie and that they would tease Shadow in the third movie. But now that we're at the third movie, we have no idea what the hell they're going to be teasing for these next two post-credit scenes. As it is confirmed, we're going to have two post-credit scenes for Sonic 3. And from what I've heard, Sonic fans have lost their shit. They went nuts. They went completely nuts. They got excited. I have no idea. I have a few guesses. Could be Amy, could be Metal Sonic. Hell, it could be Silver the Hedgehog, who I'm betting my money could be Silver. I may be wrong. I don't freaking know, but I don't know much, and thankfully I've avoided spoilers because ain't no way I'm getting spoiled again. No, not for 3 Sonic movies in a row. But yeah, speaking about Sonic going Super Saiyan, it was cool seeing him go Super Saiyan. Which I guess Sonic has a little bit of references to Dragon Ball, because you know how I'm not a Dragon Ball fan. I've never seen a Dragon Ball episode. My brother's a big fan. You know how you see Goku go Super Saiyan? Yeah, we have a similar situation with Sonic, as once he has like the Chaos Emerald, he goes Super Saiyan. And he's not the only one that goes Super Saiyan. Same thing goes for Shadow, as, not that this is a big spoiler, but we all know he's gonna eventually go Super Saiyan in the third movie. But we would still like to be surprised and not get spoiled for how he looks like in his Super Saiyan form. But yeah, my theater got a little hyped up for when Shadow popped up in the post-credit scenes, and for the fun of it, our theater is jam-packed. And I'm expecting my theater to go nuts for whatever goes down for Sonic Movie 3. So I'm praying to God I have a No Way Home theater experience again. But my thoughts overall, Sonic Movie 1 was an enjoyable watch. While it had the basic trope of fish out of water, it still worked out for me. And it's definitely one of my personal favorite movies from 2020. As for Sonic Movie 2, it's a huge improvement over the first movie, and the human characters aren't a main focus like the first one, with the human characters being sidelined in this one. Sonic, along with Tails and Knuckles, are instead the main characters, which is definitely what I would prefer. But it was more faithful to what they were adapting from the games, as it took a variety of ideas from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and 3, along with Sonic and Knuckles. Overall, it's better than the first. And when I think about it, I'm glad they're saving Shadow the Hedgehog for the third movie, because you know what they say, save the best for last, because it's looking like Sonic Movie 3 will be the best of the trilogy, and I can't freaking wait to watch it in the next couple of hours, as it's literally my last movie left on my anticipated list. I've seen all 9, well, I've seen half of the movies I was interested in seeing in 2024, but for my top 10, I've seen all 9. There was just one more I have not seen, and that'd be Sonic Movie 3, and I know for a fact that's going on my top 10 list, as I've saved a slot for it. But with that being said, those are just my thoughts reviewing Sonic Movie 1 and 2 in preparation for Sonic Movie 3. Be sure to let me know in the thoughts comments down below, and as always, I'll see you guys for my Superman trailer reaction in the morning, but also my movie vlog for Sonic Movie 3. And hopefully my Knuckles review, if I do actually have the chance to film that before we go see Sonic Movie 3. Hope you all enjoyed, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Gotta go fast.